loves, welcome back to my YouTube channel and Happy New Year. I think the theme for this year is audacity. So this is what we are all going to be doing this year. So go out and be audacious in everything you do. And I wish you an amazing and a fruitful, beautiful 2026. My name is Abono and I'm a Nigerian based in Portugal. I share content on motherhood, lifestyle, and life abroad. So if you're seeing my face for the first time, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, share, and invite your friends to join the family, okay? Alright, so today we will be talking about the betting process in Portugal. This is one topic I've gotten like lots of emails, text messages and calls about. So I'm just going to walk you through the step-to-step process once you find out you're pregnant, what to do. Now, I'm saying this based on my own experience. My experience might probably be different from somebody else's experience. Now, this is what I went through. So this is what I'm going to walk you through step by step. So you might want to check within your area, maybe the laws or the rules are probably different from mine, okay? Now, finding out you're pregnant, let me be the first to say congratulations, and I wish you a beautiful and amazing 9 months stress-free pregnancy journey. And I also declare that you will deliver safely. Yourself, your husband, or the father of your child and your baby will be fine, okay? Now, finding out you're pregnant, the first thing you want to do, you want to go to your central south around your area. Now, you want to let them know, okay, hey guys, I am pregnant and I need to book an appointment to see a doctor, right? Now, in my own case, this is where, for me, the journey started, right? So, finding out I was pregnant, I did the test at home. It was on a weekday. I think I was off that day from work. I did the pregnancy test and it came out positive. So I was like, okay, you know what? I need to do a blood test just to confirm and also let the doctor or the hospital know that, okay, I am pregnant and I need to book an appointment to see a doctor so I can start like antenatal ASAP, right? So I got to the hospital and I got to the central south and we're like, oh, okay, that's the so for those of you that are Nigerians, it's more like a health center, right? So I got there and I'm like, oh, I need to see a doctor. I just confirmed I'm pregnant, but I still need to do a blood test just to be sure I'm pregnant and how many weeks I am currently. And they were like, oh, you know what? We don't have a doctor available right now. You might have to book an appointment to see a doctor. And I'm like, okay, it's just pregnancy test. It shouldn't be something I need to see a doctor, right? I need to book an appointment rather to see a doctor. Like, oh yeah, you still need to book an appointment to see a doctor. I said, okay, that's totally fine. So I went to the nearest, I think you call the place analysis clinic or something, where you can actually run all kinds of tests there. So I went there, I paid, and I got the result immediately. And I went back, I said, okay, you know what, I have done this test. Now I want to book an appointment. It just came out positive, so I need to book an appointment to see a doctor. They were saying, oh, you still have to book an appointment to see a doctor. I said, okay, that's totally fine. I said, I'm going to come back some other time. I went back. We're like, oh, they don't have a doctor. And I'm like, are you guys serious? Where I'm from, for me, it was a huge culture shock, because where I'm from, pregnancy is a big deal. It is something you don't joke with. The minute you find out you're pregnant, you want to go to the hospital, you want to get your card, you want to book an appointment, you want to do all of that, right? So for me, it was like a huge shock. Like, oh, we're like, oh, they kept on telling me, for every time I was going there, they kept on saying, no doctor, no doctor. And I'm like, are you guys for real? And I honestly totally forgot that I actually have a private health insurance. So they were just saying, though, I think at some point one of them said, oh, you know what, if you have a private health insurance, just go there. It honestly skipped my mind that I actually have a private insurance. They were like, oh, if you have a private insurance, just go there. Because we don't have enough doctors. We have like so many pregnant people on the list. So we're telling the other people to also use a private health use their private health insurance if they can. I said, okay. So one day I called SNS24 and I was really crying on the phone. And I'm like, what is wrong with you people? It's my first time. I don't know if it was my hormones or something, but I was really, really crying. That was going on. I came at first, I told them I was pregnant. They said they don't have enough doctor. Now, and I can't remember how many months I was at that time. They said, don't have a doctor. What do you want me to do? And the person on the phone was saying, oh, we're so sorry. We understand that. You know what? We're going to send you to a different hospital where you can actually have do a test, a scan or something. They will just do like a general checkup to be sure yourself and your baby are fine. I said, okay, that's okay. So that way I had to call my office to say, I won't be coming to work today, or my probably coming later. I need to go for a scan or something, or a checkup. So we got there, myself and my husband. So my husband took excuse from work also. So we got there. When we got there, they were like, oh, okay, that we met like so many pregnant people there, and we had to wait. So I think we got there around 1, we left there around till 10 in the night. Yes, that's how crowded the hospital. I think at that time, the entire hospital within the vicinity were not open, they were all closed. So it was just one hospital, that's like the Santoba hospital, that was actually opened on that day. So they had a lot of pregnant people they needed to attend to and all of that. So they checked everything, like, okay, you know what, you're fine. So I kept going back and forth with the Central Sahud. Oh, there's no doctor today, there's no doctor tomorrow. I just thought, you know what, I think I'm done with you guys. I'm just going to go to use my private health insurance. So I just started using my private health insurance. Oh, those guys were really, very good. So I did the whole first scan, ultrasound, second ultrasound. That's like the only thing I paid for. I paid for the checkup. I think it's about, of course, you know your company pays a part of it. You also pay part of it. I think it was about 15 euros or thereabout. Then I did my first ultrasound, second ultrasound. I think I paid around maybe 25, but it was less than 30 euros for the ultrasound. And the only drugs that was recommended was just folic acid with iron. That's like the only thing I took. So finally, one day I just decided, you know what, let me just go back to the Central South to see if they have a doctor now. We were told that if you give birth in the public hospital, it's actually easier. You assign your child like the NIF and the social security number, so that way it's just easier to just process your child's documents. That if you give birth in the private hospital, you have to do all of that yourself. That was what we were told. We're like, you know what? Since let's just either we'll try the private, we'll try the public. Anyone that works out, we don't mind if we don't mind paying or something. But as long as myself and the child were okay, that's all at that time that mattered. So the private hospital, of course, they'll give you a green book. That's a green. I think it's written Gravida. I'll see if I can upload the picture here for you guys. So they'll give you a green book. That's where they write your visitation, how the child is progressing, and all of that. How you are, your weight, your height, your basically everything about your pregnant season. Okay. I finally had a doctor at the Central South, and I was given another green book. So all the details of my pregnancy was registered. They'll have to ask you the same question: when did you miss your period? Blah blah blah, and everything. Then they'll ask you, have you done any ultrasound? If you haven't, you say you haven't. If you have, you say you have. So that's it. So I was just using the same document I was using for the public. I was using the same for the private. I was just like, once I have an appointment with the public hospital, I just go. I think I had an appointment with at the public hospital when I was like maybe 6 months or 5 months. That was when I had an appointment with the doctor there. Most of the time, they were always calling to cancel. Oh, the doctor is not around, I'll have to cancel. I have to go back to reschedule. For me, it was just not a good experience that I had until towards the end of my pregnancy. So there's something they call abono. Abono is the benefit that the government gives you once you're pregnant. Okay, I think you have to get to like either 12 to 14 weeks. Thereabout, I'm not sure, I can't remember. But they give you something. Now I think this should be based on your income. Even if you're not working, as long as you have a resident card, just tell your doctor that you want to get the abono, you want to get abono. Your doctor prints out a paper. This is just letting the government know that, oh, you're pregnant, the doctor's name is there, and also the doctor's code. Now, it's something you can actually do online. Once the doctor gives you the document, just go to your social security, fill up the details, or you can actually go to any social security office and just tell them you want to apply for abono. They can actually help you do all of that there, okay? And you just keep checking your portal. You will see how much the government will pay you and when they will pay you. Now, the next one on the list is antenatal. This one is, I don't know. I'm just going through everything in my head right now, and I can just, it feels like I'm actually experiencing everything all over again, right? Now, I had no antenatal. I asked the private hospital to know if they hold any antenatal classes that I would like to attend. I'm actually a first-time mom. And they said, oh, that they'll actually confirm from maybe their other branches, but the one at Setobal, they do not hold any antenatal classes. I said, okay, that's fine. The public hospital, the same thing. You said, oh, they will let me know, and nothing, like until I had my baby. That's why I tell people that when I meet people and people say, oh, I don't want to join the community, I don't want to join the community of Nigerians, I'm like, there's a lot you are going to miss out on. Now, you might probably have your experience, maybe it might probably be good or bad or whatever it is, but just try and just join a community. It is something that you actually benefit in the long run. Now, our community came through for us because I had no idea how to bathe the baby. And maybe to change the diapers, but any other thing, I had absolutely no idea. I wasn't trained on this thing. It was something nobody, like the hospital said they don't do it. One said, oh, they will find out from the other branches. I had nothing. I kept on asking. They were like, oh, you know what, we don't do it. The public hospital. Whereas a friend of mine that had a baby in Kashka, she said she had an amazing experience. In fact, she said she went through the entire antenatal classes. They also helped her massage her side and all of that. She had an amazing experience. For me, it was totally different, like totally different. So that's it with the antenatal. For me, I had no antenatal classes. I just had a community of people where after I had my baby, they were able to assist us in taking care of our baby till like 3 months. Okay. Now the next one is you have to do gestational diabetes and diabetes test. Now this is the drink where you drink. They'll tell you you have to you have to stay in the clinic for 2 hours. Now this is not done in the central Saudi. In my own case, this mine was done at the I think it's called analysis, where they do analysis clinic. That's what it's called. Now I had the gestational diabetes there, and this is something the doctor will give you. The doctor will give you like a list of tests. You need to do blood tests. I think urine tests. That so many tests that you need to do. Gestational diabetes test is also part of it, right? So these are all the tests that I did, and I didn't pay anything. The only drugs I took was just the recommended folic acid with iron, because my iron was low. And also there's one iron drink. It's in a small bottle, like I think about 20 pieces. That's like the only thing I took in terms of prenatal drugs. Those were like the only thing I took that was recommended, nothing else, right? So I did the gestational diabetes test. It's like a drink. It's really very sweet. So they'll tell you to you have to come without eating, so you have to stay in the clinic for 2 hours. So I got to the clinic. It's just very close to the central South. When I got to the clinic, you're like, oh, you're welcome. They gave me the drink. I think first they took my blood, then they gave me the drink. They told me to sit down for like 1 hour. I sat down there. I was just pressing my phone. Before you know it, my eyes started spinning. I was like, what's going on? My eyes were spinning, and I'm like, oh my God. It felt like I wanted to throw up. Then they took my blood the second time. Then after that, that was it. Immediately I got home, I ate, I threw up everything I ate, and everything. Then my result came out. So the last appointment I had at Central South, Anna, that's the doctor's name if I can remember, very nice, amazing, she's just excellent. She apologized about my whole experience because I explained everything in details to her. So she really she apologized and all of that, and she explained they are currently experiencing shortage of doctors. That's why. So they sent her to fill up and also assist in attending to other patients, the pregnant mom and other people. So she said, you know what? She gave me her email address. That's her work email address. She said, once my results are out, I don't have to come anymore. That she's going to send all my details to the big hospital. I think I was about between 35 to 36 weeks pregnant at that time. So she said she was going to send all my details to the hospital, that they will send me a message to come for checkup and let me know when I'll give birth and all of that. So she gave me the whole list of the tests I needed to do. I think I took the list, I went to the analysis, they told me, oh, come for the test very early in the morning, you don't have to eat anything and all of that. So I did the whole test, they took my blood, everything, I did the whole test. When the result came out, I just forwarded the result to her. So she just responded that she has gotten my email, that she has forwarded it to the main hospital. I should expect like a call or a text from them. So I think it was about 2 weeks later, I got a text from the big hospital. So when I got the message, and I'm like, my heart started beating. My heart was racing really fast. It's like the time has come for you to have your baby, right? So oh my God, honestly, it was a beautiful experience. So I got the text, and I went for the appointment. My husband went to every appointment with me, every ultrasound. He was there all through the way, from the beginning to the very end. So we went for the appointment, when they checked, oh, the baby is okay, everything. I said, okay, if you don't give birth 40 weeks, you might have to induce you at 40 weeks. Okay, I said, okay, that's fine. Hopefully, I started praying. I said, oh God, please, I don't want them to induce me. Just, I don't know, just do your thing, God. So the next week came. I was just lying down. I think it was the 20th. I was lying down on my bed, and something just woke me up. Now, as at that time, I had not taken any photo shoots. Like, I planned it. I booked an appointment with a photographer. I was supposed to go to your studio. I didn't want the whole thing in the house. I wanted to just like, you know what, let me just come to your studio and just do the whole thing. I booked an appointment. I just could not go for whatever reason. I just stayed in the house. Maybe I was too tired. Funny, my pregnancy didn't really make me weak, but I was just too tired. I just didn't want to go anywhere. So that day, I just woke up that afternoon, and one man was saying, what if you give birth now? What if you give birth tomorrow and you don't have any pregnancy announcement video or pictures or anything? I said, you know what, let me just manage. I just stood up, I dragged myself out of the bed. I had my bath, did my makeup, did my shoot and everything. And I'm like, okay, let me even cook something, because the next day, I think the next day was supposed to be my EDD. So you know what, let me just mix stew, at least let's have stew in the house. In case I give birth, at least we have stew in the house. While I was cooking, I started feeling pains like every 5 minutes, I was timing it. No, before I started timing it, I was feeling pains, and I'm like, this pain is not, it's not like the normal pain. Like this one, it feels like something is happening. Maybe it's time. I just told my husband jokingly, like, it seems the baby wants to come now. My husband jumped up, wore his clothes. My husband brought out his clothes since like 8 months. I know. So my husband wore his clothes quickly, and I just got my bag ready. My bags were all packed. I just brought it down. I kept it in the sitting room, and I'm like, you know what? Let it just be there. So we're just waiting. We're like, okay, if we go to the hospital now, because we've heard stories where if either your water has to break, or you have to see a mucus or something, and if you don't if you don't see any of that, if you go to the hospital, they might probably send you back to your house. So we didn't want to experience that. So we're like, okay, let's just wait. Either the water will break, or I'll see my mucus or something. So we're just there, we're just waiting. So I started googling what would the mucus look like? What's the color? Is it white? Is it green? Is it purple? Do you understand? So that was it. So so finally I saw the mucus. And I'm like, oh my god, my mucus is here. So we have to go to the hospital. I started having contractions. So I started timing the contraction. From 5 minutes, it went to 1 minute. From 1 minute, oh my god, it's. I think I don't know if I want to give birth to more children, but it was so fun. I don't know what. Let me not cry. So started for 1 minute. From there. We're like, you know what? Let's just go to the hospital. I think it's time. So I carried my bag. I went to the hospital. Myself and my husband, we booked an Uber. We got to the hospital, we registered us, we checked in, and the doctors were like, oh, okay, they checked. I went with my card. Of course, you have to go with your card, the resident card. I went with all of that. Then they checked, started checking, and all of a sudden, my blood pressure was just high. I can't remember ever having high blood pressure all through my pregnancy, but it was just high. I don't know if I would say it was just God that orchestrated it, because they probably must have sent us back home, because the doctor told us, she said, I would have sent you guys back home to come back much later, maybe when your water breaks or something. But because you're having high blood pressure, we cannot allow you go home. You have to stay here. But we'll have to keep monitoring you and all of that. So I was there. My husband was still waiting. I went in alone. So they kept on checking and checking and checking. They gave me water, sweet. They just made me. I felt really comfortable. At some point, I think my blood pressure wasn't going down. Then they said, you know what, that we'll have to keep you here. We'll tell your husband to go home. Your husband should just give you some of the baby clothes. Most likely, before he comes the next day, you probably must have given birth. So my husband gave me. I went to meet my husband. I explained, and my husband gave me a few baby clothes. My husband said he was really worried. Of course, first time for you to say go home, leave your wife here. For him, he was really worried. He said he called my family members and everybody. My family members, those people, they are prayer warriors. Don't try them when it comes to prayer. So they all started praying. My husband said on his way home, he had to if you're an NSPPDian, you know this prayer will pray, oh earth, you will not receive the body of my loved ones until I say so. So my husband said he was on the road. When he got to the bus stop, he knelt down and put his hand on the floor, and people passing, it's actually it was like actually very late. It should be like, we got to the hospital for 2, so probably be around maybe 4 5 thereabouts, or I think 4. Yeah, between 3 4. So my husband said he had to put his hand on the ground, and he was saying, oh earth, you will not receive the body of my wife or my child until I say so. When I tell people, marry a man who knows God, it is very important. My husband's prayer went ahead of us to make every crooked path straight. When I tell people, marry a man that knows God, pray, it's like God is all we have. Like, we don't have any other thing. He is all we need, he is all we have. So my husband said he had to pray that prayer. He was telling me much later, said he had to pray that prayer. While I was there, so they checked me into a room, a proper room this time. Before, initially I was just like, they just had this thing all over my stomach where they were just checking the baby and all, and checking my blood pressure. And so they checked me into a proper room, had the whole thing on my stomach. So they were always coming into, I was not allowed to use my phone, so I couldn't even call my husband. So they were always coming to check me, just coming, different doctors were coming in. The other lady was really shouting, and the nurse was like, you're having very strong contraction, how come you're not shouting? And all of that. And I'm like, it's very strong. So she could actually see the graph on the system. My mom already told me contraction, just try and hold the pain, because labor pain is even worse. So I was trying not to shout. The pain I was having is not enough for me to shout. I don't know if that makes sense, but for me, I was just holding it and all. So I think in between I even slept off. Like, I was too tired. I was just turning. I was sleeping. The next thing, Doctors were coming in and out of my room, people moving around, in and out, in and out. They really took care of me there. Then the next minute, I just noticed, I just looked out, my room wasn't so full, I could see the window from there. I just noticed that, oh, I could see it's already daybreak already, right? And the next minute, the doctors just came in, oh, we have to carry out CS now, the baby is not moving the way she ought to move. Hey, my head just did. The first thing I just told them no, I want to pee because I was actually pressed and I needed to pee. They said no, you cannot pee, you cannot pee. The next thing they piped they started putting pipe in my body so I could actually urinate. Before you know it, they rushed into my room. They oh my God, God is wonderful. They rushed into my room. They had to move me. They had to transfer me to a different bed. They took me into the theater. You know when you see theater in just movies, right? This one is real life. Like it was like more like, I don't want to say my life flashed before my eyes. No, that was what happened. But when they turned on the whole theater light, I don't like hospitals. I don't like you barely find me in a hospital. The least I can have is headache, nothing more than that. So they turned on the entire light and I was just like, God, we are finally here. God, please, we're going to leave this hospital as a family of 3. Nothing missing, nothing broken. So they took me, they wheeled me into the theater, they transferred me to the main bed. They were like, okay, they were prepping and all of that. They took off my clothes, they wore me the gown and all. They were like, oh, I should sit up. So they carried me, they sat me up, said they wanted to inject my back. I honestly, all these things people say, don't allow them, give you epidural, don't allow you. For me, I didn't even care. What I wanted was, I want to just be fine. I want to go home with my baby. Whatever result is, we'll sort out that one later. But for now, myself and my baby were like the most important thing to me at that time. So they were like, okay, they need to. So they sat me up. They really tried. I think she said, no, I don't have to shake. So she called one of the doctors to hold my head. So she held my head. And I just noticed they pierced something in my back. I think it should be like the anesthesia so I don't feel the pain and all of that. And they laid me back, they did the whole thing. Do you know, at that time, when we now checked again, my blood pressure came down. I just said, God, imagine if I had gone home. There's no how I'll probably know that the baby in my womb had stopped moving. Let me not cry. So let's continue. So, we're like, oh, if I'm feeling sleepy, I should let them know. I can't sleep, I have to let them know. So a nurse sat down next to me. She was just talking to me. So I think it's just to keep me awake so that way I don't sleep. So she just kept on talking to me. And I'm like, okay, how long will it take? She said, oh, you know what? It's not going to take too long. Before you know it, you're done. It's not going to take too long. Don't worry about it. Before you know it, they did the whole thing, brought out the baby. It was really very cute. I think she said 30 to 45 minutes, you're done. They brought out the baby and she wasn't crying. I said, God. Then I didn't know what was happening. I just noticed they brought her out. And then, you know, when we watch films, when we watch the stories we hear, when you bring out the baby has to cry and all of that. So they just brought her out. She wasn't crying. They took her so the pediatrician was just above my head. And we're just there, we're just trying to, I think maybe she had like fluid in her lungs or something. We're just trying to bring out the whole fluid and everything. And after a while, I just started praying. I was looking at them. At some point, I'm like, no, don't look at them. I just removed my eyes. And I just started praying. I was just praying. I was speaking in tongues under my breath. I was speaking in tongues. I said, God, you will not put us to shame. I just started praying. I just started speaking God's word. I was praying. I was speaking in tongues. Then the next thing she cried, they brought her to me. I kissed her. They took her. They cleaned her up. And so my husband said he came to the hospital. They were like, he was asking, where's my wife? They were like, oh, hold on. So she said he got scared. Nobody was saying anything to him. Nobody was saying nobody was telling him what was happening. So he was really very scared. He was like, what's going on? Where's my wife? They were like, oh, they definitely told him, congratulations, your wife has given birth to a baby girl. His mind came down. So we're in the hospital I think I gave birth on a Tuesday. We were discharged on a Thursday. Now they give you food. You don't pay anything. So I didn't pay ₦1. So they gave us food, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The hospital, the doctors, the nurses were amazing. They took really good care of me. I didn't have to lift a finger. They were coming to change the baby's diaper. So the baby has to pee and has to poo, and also the mother. So we're in the hospital, like if we don't poo and pee, they won't leave us. I think I needed to poo. My daughter needed to pee, poo. I think my daughter we both needed to poo or something. Like, oh, if we don't pee and poo, they won't let us go. So she pooed first. So the next one was pee. So she had to pee and I had to poo. So they gave me one liquid and I said, God, please, the time is here. I need to go home. Just make me poo. Because I went to the restroom and I started praying, God, please. The next thing I pooed, I just told them, oh, I finally pooed. Then we were discharged on Thursday afternoon. We were discharged to go home. Now, regarding the baby's birth certificate, the citizenship. Now, the way the law is, I don't know if that has changed. Once either of the parents has been in the country for legally 1 year and have the resident card, automatically the child gets the citizenship. The hospital will give you your baby's birth certificate. Now, this document is what you will take to the IRN. Okay. Now, I think the IRN register. Now we have one very close to our house. So for us, it was just very easy. It's like a very small IRN. So it was very easy for us to just go there and just do the whole thing. Now, they'll ask you for this document. You also have to go with your resident card. You also have to go with someone who speaks Portuguese. Very important. I'm not sure I can go with someone who speaks English. You have to go with someone that speaks and understands Portuguese. That was what they told us at first when my husband went there. They told my husband, you should come with someone who speaks and understands Portuguese, and also the person has to come with their resident card. But we went with someone who has a nationality, so we don't know if they can actually accept just the resident card, right? But for it was someone who has the nationality. That's the person we went with as our witness, okay? So when we got there, I can't remember how much they charged, but it was, I think, between 10 to 40 euros. I can't remember, or was it free? I can't remember how much, but it's not expensive at all. So we went there, they did the whole thing. Then they will ask for your parents' name. So they asked for my mom's name, my dad's name. They asked for my husband's, mother's, and father's name. So then their names will be on the child's documentation. So we did the whole thing, and they told us, okay, you know what, you guys, and that's all. When the card is ready, we'll send you guys a message to come get it. I think after 8 days, we got a mail. So we checked our mailbox and we saw that her card was ready. So my husband went there, picked up the card. Then we didn't want to do her passport immediately. We're like, okay, let her just, let's leave the passport for now until when she's like maybe 3 to 4 months, when her face will actually show very well. So we did her passport, we did her Portuguese passport, I think when she was like 3 to 4 months, and that's it. Now, for child benefits, as soon as you give birth, you can then request for the child benefit. Is something you can, it's called Abono de Família. It's something you can do on the portal, or you can also go to any social security office and tell them you want to apply for Abono de Família. Now, I think this Abono Família, they also give children who have the residency card. You don't have to be born here. As long as either of your child has the resident card, you can actually apply for the Abono Família. Now, they pay based on your income, okay? And as the child grows older, the fee, of course, reduces. If your income, if yourself and your partner are working and you guys earn high, of course the money comes down. But if it's just one person that is just working, either the husband or the wife, the money will probably pay, I don't know how much, maybe 200 or more or less. It just depends. Okay. Also for the abono, is also calculated based on your income. All right. So then now the next one is paternity and maternity leave. I'm gonna put like a document, that's the document for myself and my husband. Of course, I'm gonna blow some of the information. Now for paternity leave, for the paternity leave, this is how it's calculated. When you go to the portal, you will see 150 days or 120 days, which is like 5 months, 4 months. Now, if both parents are working, like the father and the mother, this is what we did. Now it starts to count. You have 7 days, 21 days, 7 days. All this, you take them together. Now, for the paternity leave, it starts counting the first day the wife gives birth. So you have 7 days, 21 days, and 7 days. Now, while the mother, like for me, I took 5 months. So my maternity leave starts counting the day I gave birth. So mine started counting May 21st, right? So I took like 5 months maternity leave. Now, so the husband is 7 days, 21 days, 7 days. After that, the husband goes back to work while the wife is still on maternity leave. Now, as soon as the wife is going back to work, the father has another 30 days. I hope you understand that. That's what we did. And of course, you're paid for this. The government pays you. Is also, I think it should be based on your income also. So that's how it's calculated. So I resumed work. I think it should be October 17th, for example. I resumed to work October 17th. My husband started his second paternity leave October 18th. I hope that's clear. You can just go to your portal or go to any social security office and tell them you want to apply for maternity and paternity leave. They show you all of this. But I'm going to also upload the document. But that's what we did. So my husband took 7 days, 21 days. 7 days, 21 days, 7 days. While I took 5 months. And as soon as I went back to work, my husband took another 30 days leave, of course, paid leave, all right? The government pays. I think it should also be how much you've accumulated or something or submitted over time. If you have questions, you can just send me an email or send me a message on my Instagram and I'll be here to respond to you, okay? Thank you so much. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to share to your family and your friends. Kisses, bye.
Alguém pode entrar. Podia fazer festa. Já. Fala inglês.
Desculpa falar inglês.
Can we do a party?
Yeah,
A crazy party.
okay.
A crazy party.
It's okay.
Precisa perguntar pra eles, olha ali, ó, tem quer fazer uma festa, tem que ser em silêncio. Tudo bem se elas permitirem, né?
Pra ter uma festa em silêncio.